Assalamu alaikum students. Hope all of you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to our today's science class. In our previous class, I have just started to discuss about the solutions, and in this class also I continue these topics about the solution. Okay, and a solution can be saturated or unsaturated. Okay, and is, unsaturated solution means it contains less than the maximum amount of solute. Okay, suppose we have a glass of water and we add to a salt, edible salt to it, and the salt is getting dissolved. Okay, and that means this is an unsaturated solution. Okay, and now we add more salt and still the salt is getting dissolved, and again this is an unsaturated solution. Okay, but we go on adding salt. If we go on adding salt, then there come a point when we are adding salt but the salt is not getting dissolved in the water. Okay, that means the salt is not getting dissolved in the solvent. Okay, and that is because the water is already completely filled with salt or molecules or salt particles. Okay, and so when we add more salt to the solution, it cannot get dissolved, and then this is um, a saturated solution. Okay, this point at this point the solution is considered as saturated solution. That means a saturated solution is the one in which no more solute particles can be added. A solute can be added at a specific temperature. Okay, and it's very important condition. We have to maintain a constant temperature. Okay, because temperature can affect the solubility. Okay, and that means a saturated solution is the one in which no more solute can be added at a specific temperature, and unsaturated solution is the one in which more solute can be added. Okay, and that means the unsaturated solution can dissolve more solute, and saturated solution cannot dissolve more solute. Okay, they have maximum concentration. They have a maximum amount of solute which they can dissolve. And look at this picture. These two picture show you the distribution of solute particles in the solutions. Okay, this is unsaturated solution and this is saturated solution, and you can easily observe that in unsaturated solution less number of solute particles are present than that in the saturated solution. In saturated solutions there are number of molecules, there are a lot, the maximum number of molecules are present, and if we add further salt or further solute, then it cannot get dissolved. Okay, and now I have discussed about the solubility. Okay, and we know the solubility. Generally the solubility is the property of any solute to dissolve in solvent is known as its solubility. This is a general definition, but it has a specific definition. We have to know that definition. And suppose we have 100 grams of water. Okay, and we go on adding salt to it, and maximum how much salt can we add to 100 grams of water so that the solution becomes saturated. Okay, maximum how much salt can we add to the 100 gram of water. Okay, and we can add maximum of 36 grams of addable salt, that means sodium chloride salt. Then the solution becomes saturated at a temperature of 25 degrees Celsius, that means room temperature. Okay, and this temperature must be maintained, and this is what we call solubility of that salt. Okay, so we can say solubility of sodium chloride in water is 36 gram. And thus the solubility we define as from this concept, the solubility is defined as the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 grams of any solvent is called its solubility. Okay, that means solubility is the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent. Right, and so that means for sodium chloride, the solubility in water is 36 grams, and copper sulfate salt can be dissolved maximum of 21 grams in 100 grams of water at room temperature, and so the solubility of copper sulfate is 21 gram at room temperature, that means 25 degrees Celsius temperature, and the solubility of sugar is 211.4 gram. Okay, the solubility of glucose or sugar is 211.4 gram in water at room temperature. So look at this. Our look at this experiment here. We can observe two facts. Okay, at first, in 100 ml water, this is you can observe here 100 ml water is taken, but our requirements is 100 gram of solvent. um, this is for water. 100 ml and 100 gram is actually equal. Okay, the value is equal because each milliliter of water weighs 1 gram. That means the density of water is 1 gram per liter. So 100 gram is approximately equal to 100 ml of water at a specific temperature and pressure. That means the mass of 100 ml water is 100 gram. So we can, for water, only for water, we can use 100 ml or 100 gram. Okay, but different liquids have different densities. That's why it's not important. Actually, in the gram, the mass and the volume are different for other liquids except water. Okay, and in that case, you can see in 100 ml water or 100 gram water, we add 30 grams sodium chloride, and that means if the solid sodium chloride is 30 gram and solvent is 100 gram or 100 ml, then it makes unsaturated solution containing 100 gram water. And because why it is unsaturated, because we know the solubility of sodium chloride is 36 gram. That means it can, and it can more, or we can add more 6 gram of sodium chloride to it. Okay, because its maximum capacity to dissolve any sodium chloride is 36 gram, so it's a unsaturated solution. But in that case, this is we take 40 grams sodium chloride in 100 ml water, and that's why this makes a saturated solution which contains 36 grams sodium chloride in the solution. Okay, and the additional 4 grams sodium chloride remains undissolved in the and gathered at the bottom of the container. You can see that. Okay, In the solution, 36 gram sodium chloride will be dissolved, okay, but the additional 4 gram sodium chloride remains undissolved and gathered at the bottom of the container. And yeah, the presence of this undissolved solute is the characteristics of any saturated solution, okay. And now we can now let's see what is the effect of temperature on this solubility of solute, okay. And for this we let's do an experiment, okay. And okay, in this case, this is the arrangement of our experiment, okay. And for this, we have to need some accessories, some materials. Our required materials are one beaker. You can see one beaker, a stirrer. We take here a spoon as the stirrer, okay, and a tripod stand. Okay, tripod stand. This is a tripod stand, and a wire net. These nets is known as wire net, and one balance we have to take. We need and salt water, salt and our edible salt and water and a spirit lamp. Okay. And the procedure will be we have to use the balance to take 100 gram water in a clean beaker, okay. In a clean beaker we have to take 100 gram of water, then adding salt to in little amount and continue to stir, okay. Stop adding salt when the added salt is no more dissolving, okay. That means we have to make saturated solution, okay. Now place the beaker on the wire net, this picture. After dissolving the salt, all the salt, after making the saturated solution of sodium chloride salt, we have to place the beaker on the wire net, kept over the tripod, and apply heat at the bottom of the beaker, okay. And apply heat at the bottom of the beaker by the spirit lamp and continue to stir the solution, okay. Now now do you observe any change in the solution after applying heat? Okay, of course. Okay, and then slowly the amount of undissolved salt which present at the bottom of the container, the amount of undissolved salt begins to decrease, okay. And in this way, with the heating up of the solution for some times, the entire salt will be dissolved. Then it can be said that the solubility of salt in water has been increased due to increase of temperature, because we know the solubility of sodium chloride at salt at room temperature was 36 grams, and we take more than 36 uh, gram sodium chloride, but when we heat, and that means when we increase the temperature, the solubility of the salt in water has been increased due to the increase of temperature, okay. And for this reason the undissolved salt got dissolved after the for the present because for this reason, that means the effect of increased temperature, the undissolved salt got dissolved after the solution was heated. But in case of some solutions, and there are some exceptions in always in chemistry there are some exceptions. For example, cerium sulfate is another chemical salt, and calcium hydroxide in water, the solubility of solute decreases with the increase of temperature, okay. You have to mention these two examples. It is mentioned in your textbook, okay. And we can that means we can simply say that as the temperature increases, the solubility of the solute increases, and when the temperature decreases, the solubility of the salt or the solute also decreases. Okay, and for most of the solute, this effect is applicable. Okay, and now suppose we have a saturated salt. Okay, salt solution with but how do we make this saturated solution unsaturated? Okay, easy. I think you can understand this now by heating the solution. Only by heating the solution we can make the saturated solution unsaturated, because we can increase the solubility of the solution. Okay, and when we heat this salt water, the salt water, the water particles start going far away from each other due to the kinetic energy, due to which the space between them increases. We know about that. Okay, if by when we heat any substance, the kinetic energy of the molecule, the particles absorb the heat, and the kinetic energy will be increased, and that's why the particles started going far away from each other, and this same effect will be worked here. Okay, the water particles start going far away from each other, due to which the space between them increases, and then more salt can be added to the solution, so to make a saturated solution unsaturated. Okay, when we can heat it. Okay, then uh, now what happens when we cool down the saturated solution? Okay, and when we cool down the saturated solution, the water particles come closer to each other. Now, when they come closer to each other, the space between them decreases, due to which the salt which was dissolved in this solution start precipitating. Okay, start precipitating, that means start crystallizing out of the solution. That means start uh, gathering out of the solution at the bottom of the container. So this is the effect of temperature on a saturated solution. Okay, if we increase the temperature or if we decrease the temperature, what will be happened? And I think it is clear to you. Okay, and so if that means if you heat the solution, you can add more solute to it, and if you cool down the solution, the solute which is added also comes out of the solution. Okay, and now we can make a comparison between different types of solutions with different concentration, and that means the at first the dilute solution. The dilute solution has very little solute in it, and the concentrated solution has a lot of solute in it, and the saturated solution has the maximum amount of solute in it, and that's why dilute solution can dissolve a lot more solute in it, in the solvent, and for concentrated solution, and concentrated solution also can dissolve a little more solute, but for saturated solution, the saturated solution cannot dissolve any more solute. Okay, it's the solute will be gathered at the container, at the bottom of the container. Okay, and students, that's all for this video. Assalamu alaikum.